What we're going to be doing today is getting sorted, of course, with our sorting hat on, learning how to sort cards.
Long ago, there existed a god. Then evil came.
How you doing, guys? Today we are going to be talking about, of course, how to sort the most effective way possible so you can turn this 5,000 count box of unsorted Yu-Gi-Oh cards into something that your customers can either look through or you can have available for your customers to buy from, and of course for your decks to be easily built because they're all well organized. How are we going to do that? Let me show you how. The first thing that you have to understand is when it comes to sorting cards, the space that you have is the most important part. You cannot do it on a small table. You have to have enough space to house the number of trays that you need associated with your actual sorting journey. My usual suggestion is you want at least 2 or 3, and there is a main reason why, and I'll discuss that when I'm actually sitting down and showing you how. So the first thing, of course, tool-wise, is sorting trays. Sorting trays are extremely effective, and you'll see why when we actually sit down, but that is the first thing that you need. Second thing you need, of course, is penny sleeves. Penny sleeves, as far as cards go, if you have standard size cards, you can fit 5 in a sleeve or up to 10. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, you can actually fit 20 in a sleeve. My usual suggestion when you are sorting your cards and putting things into sleeves, ultra rare, secret rares, the more expensive stuff in your actual collection, you most likely want to use individual sleeves and not 5 stuck into a sleeve, 10 stuck into a sleeve, 20 stuck into a sleeve. You never want to overstuff the cards, mainly because it will scratch the surface. Last but not least is you need somewhere to actually store them. Of course, there are 5,000 count boxes, 4,000 count boxes, 1,000 count boxes, 2,000 count boxes, so on and so forth. The idea is that you're able to use these as a cost-effective way to store the actual cards. They are covered. You don't really have to worry as much about moisture getting inside, mainly because they are covered, so anything dripping on the actual outside will protect the cards. When it comes to the actual storage of where you're physically storing it, obviously you want to have a temperature-controlled area. You never want to store it in something like your garage, in your basement, where there's a lot of moisture. Moisture then warps the cards. It potentially could damage the cards, and damaged cards are not really worth as much as they once were. So making sure that you're storing your cards in a safe space is very important. So let's go directly into our sorting tray and see how Dan does it. So let's take a look at how the actual tray is sorted. We have 3 sections in the tray once you've got it all set up: the front, the middle, and of course the back. The idea of the sorting tray is not necessarily to use the entire sorting tray. The idea is to limit the amount of movement that you have for each of those actual positions. So when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, the number one most prevalent thing or card type in the actual game, of course, is monsters. So the idea is when you're sorting through things, the front row should be the most prevalent. So in Pokemon, of course, there's not a lot of darks and fairies. You might want to put them higher up in the tray, whereas water, fire, grass, all might be in the front. For us, of course, we're sorting Yu-Gi-Oh, so we're going to put the Yu-Gi-Oh monsters up front. The second position, or the second row, of course, is for things like links, spells, and of course traps. The idea there is, of course, yes, they will need separation. However, there's going to be less occurrences of spells, traps, and of course links, XYZs, synchros, etc. So you want to have that the most movement. The very top, of course, is for what I call overflow. So when this particular section is filled, you can then move it up to the top and allow for more cards to go in. This is also one of the biggest reasons why I say you need multiple sorting trays during this process, because if you're doing entire cases, entire sets, a 5,000 count box, you're wanting to have that ability to push it up or push it off to the side. That way you're still maintaining the range of motion within this small area. So what that does is when you're actually sorting the cards, you're able to kind of blur your eyes. You're not really focusing in on what the cards are to sort. You're actually able to blur your focus and sort the cards faster because you're only looking at one particular part of the cards. Now, what you're going to see as far as how I've set up even the monsters, there is a specific method to my madness. What I usually do is I have earth, light, and of course dark on the left-hand side, and fire, wind, and water on the right-hand side. The idea centered around it is there are more earth, light, and dark in Yu-Gi-Oh! On an average basis. So the idea is once I get a giant section of monster cards, the idea is that my range of motion will be stuck in one small spot where only sometimes am I diverting to the other side of the card tray. So the idea reinstills itself that the range of motion that you then play is limited when it comes to the sorting of the cards. Now, the benefit of having your eyes defocus, and this is very difficult when you're actually trying to talk while doing this. I'm usually listening to music while I'm sorting the cards. That way, you know, I'm not really focusing on what I'm saying as well as what I'm doing. But the idea is the range of motion is limited. You're able to then sort the cards more effectively. So let's see how quickly we can sort the rest of this small pile using the formula or the idea that I just instilled in you guys. Now, if you're looking at the actual range of motion, it's extremely limited. Of course, I'm using one hand to correct anything that I have not been able to put in the right spot or maybe flicked in the wrong way. The idea is, of course, you're maximizing the use of both of your digits. Hey, we got a dark. Now, as you can tell, also on the actual sound, you've got our employees here also sorting through cards, as that new set for Dragon Ball Super has recently come out. So, of course, we've got to get that sorted and put online for people to purchase. So once again, you're sorting through. You're not really paying attention of what the card is, how the card is. You're looking in the top right-hand side for the actual symbol, and you're looking at the color of the cards for everything that's up here. The main reason for that is while you go up here, you don't want to be focusing up here. You want to focus on the generic. Once again, blurring your eyes and making it faster for you. And then eventually you'll become very, very prevalent. You'll know exactly where everything is in the actual sorting tray. Because it just becomes second nature. You're subconsciously doing this instead of really thinking about it. Now, as mentioned, you're going to want to swap it out for a completely empty tray, and you start the process over again with the idea being you've now limited the amount of cards that you really need to focus on. So you've got earth monsters right here. So now, once again, you're able to resort and organize. Now, as you can tell, based off of where I am, the range of motion is now limited even more so when you have a very short amount or small amount of cards that you're actually sorting through. So keeping that range of motion in this small area gives you the capability of sorting faster. Once you're finished, you can also do this or this type of motion where you've got the next pile ready to go. Now, this is a small pile. So once again, that range of motion, you want to limit. Boom, done. So now you have a giant bunch of piles with single cards. The next question that you should be asking yourself is, of course, what the purpose of your sorting is. Is it for deck building? Is it for just having cards available for sale? If it is for sale, how do you find the card that the person is looking for quickly and effectively? For the store, based off of the system that we use, we of course use Crystal Commerce. Everything gets printed off in alphabetical order. So of course, when it comes to how things are going to be sorted in our system, we're going to be looking at what alphabet to, of course, associate it with. A, B, C, D, of course, based off of the name of the card. Now, once again, I'm going to limit the amount of space that I'm going to use in processing this sorting journey. The way that I do it is, of course, A through D, E through K, L through P, Q, R, S, T, and everything beyond. So what that means is you've got P, you've got E, you've got U, you've got M, you've got A, you've got C, you got W. Now, once again, this is going to unorganize things, but the idea is you've not really focused on any specific aspect of sorting these cards other than what's mainly prevalent, which is the, of course, picture. The idea now is you're getting more granular. So you want to have the actual cards separated into specific categories, aka A through D, E through K, so on and so forth. So of course, G, B, L, W, T, N, M, I. Now, once again, as you can see, I don't have to be as neat and tidy with how these cards are going in here because the sorting tray does a lot of the work for me. So once again, we move these cards up, out of the way. Now we limit the range of motion, so all D, D, B, D should be there, B, A, D, 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 C, A, B, B, A. Move these up. Once again, we're now looking at the second letter, so S, 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 R, R, R. R before S, L, M, so that's L, M, A, S, G, boom, that's done, and we put it up there. Let's go with B, B, A, and B, R, A before R, done. C, there's only one card. D, D, periods are before any letters, therefore periods before I. Gladiator beast, so E, F, G, H, I, J, and K. G, G, E, F, G, H, I, G, 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 G. H, of course, is for before I, and E. E, only one card. Gladiator, Gladiator beast. S, V, S. Galactic, of course, G, A before L. And Gladiator beast A, of course, before S. That's done. H, there's only one card. That's done. I, there's only one card, and etc. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope this does help you out with your sorting journey. We just finished about half of the monsters in this actual sorting journey, so I'm sure my staff will be very happy with the fact that that's already partly done. If you guys have suggestions about what you want to know about, what you want to see in the future, make sure you put it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. And as always, don't make those binder blunders.